What's going on, guys? Cliff and Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. It's spring 2022. We're starting to get ready for next hunting season, getting tuned up. And so I went ahead and got me a new bow. So what we're gonna do today, guys, is we are gonna go through everything that I changed from my old setup to my new setup. So what causes us to change from our old setup to a new setup, right? So I'm not a clickbait type of guy, right? I'm not one that just goes and buys a bow because everybody's talking about it and it's the hype. It's just not who I am as a person, right? So the bow that I had before was a Matthews VXR, and the reason that I wanted a new bow, if you watch my page, you already know that I primarily hunt public land, walking a long distance. So one thing that I will say about that Matthews was that it was heavy. So the first thing that I was looking for in a new bow was something light, and that kind of led me down the path on every piece of equipment that I ended up getting for this 2022 setup going into the season, right? So we're gonna go through that now. So the bow that I ended up going with was the Pse Stealth Mach 1. Comes in at 3.5 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, and it is shooting smoking hot. I'm getting 303, hunt ready, ready to go to the woods. So what I ended up doing with it, right? So if you've been watching, we do the true hunt speed reviews on here, trying to get the information out to the guys about the true hunt speed of these bows versus the IBO. Not saying the IBO is wrong, just trying to get you a actual realistic view on what you can expect from a tree. And so anyways, guys, what I did is whenever I went to the ATA this year, I shot every bow they had at the ATA, basically. I've been to multiple shops, shot bows, shot buddies' bows, and everything else, trying to find a bow that I thought was best for me. So the bow that I was going to go with was the Pse Levitate. And I ended up with this one. And the only reason, to be honest with y'all guys, is there's a price point difference, right? So it just is what it is. This Pse Mach 1 Carbon Air is phenomenal. So again, my last bow was heavy. I wanted to go something that was lighter. It just so happened that this bow has a smoother draw cycle, and it's quite a bit faster. I mean, if you've got a hunt ready bow shooting over 300, you're doing all right, especially the 28.5-inch draw. So that's where I started. So now I want to talk about some of the new gear that is out on the market that I ended up with this year, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about is my sights. So what I've shot in the past is a Spot Hog 7-pin. I've shot that sight for probably 10 years, something like that, maybe 8 years. I bought it used whenever I got it. It was a great sight. I just wanted something different, something that was more lightweight. So if you haven't heard of Redline yet, guys, Redline Archery, I am telling you now, when it comes to trying to get something that is lightweight, you have got to mess with those guys. It just is what it is. All their stuff basically is carbon. It's absolutely phenomenal. So what I ended up going with was the RL3. It's a 5-pin. So one thing you'll find out from following this page, click subscribe. One thing you'll find out from following this page is that I'm a multi-pin guy. I don't like single pins. I like to hunt the rut. And for me, it's just a fiddle factor. I don't like to have to mess with the dial. So we'll kind of check this out real quick and talk about it. All right, so this RL3 is super cool. As you can tell, it's got these wing nuts on it here for quick adjustments, right? So whenever you're sighting it in, you can back these off, and your adjustments are just made off of these little turn knobs. I like that versus what I used to have. You can see they've got the light pins as well. But anyways, my old set wasn't like that. I had to carry around a cluster of Allen screws or Allen wrenches with me to adjust my sights. So yeah, this RL3 5-pin, I'm a big fan of it. The only thing I might end up doing is, I think it's called the RL1 5-pin. They're coming out with it. It is an adjustable, it's like a rolling 5-pin to give me that 70 and 80 yard shot that I'm used to having with my other multi-pin sights, because I had 7 pins. But for now, this is what I ended up with. Again, super lightweight, super durable, and the price point on these Redline archery equipment is just absolutely phenomenal. So the next thing we're gonna talk about, quivers, right? So a lot of people think a quiver is a quiver, right? It is what it is, but again, I was trying to go with weight reduction. So what I ended up with is the RL1 Carbon 6. So the other thing you're gonna find out about me is that given the opportunity to tag out one day, I am that guy, I would do it. So I've got the one, it's their biggest one that holds 6 arrows and is still carbon. It is a phenomenal quiver. I'll show you how it connects and disconnects. Is the first one I've had like this. So if you can see up here, it's got this little lever. You just pop that guy up and then it slides out. So I really like that too. There's no twisting. You know, I've had the ones that twist. You've got the little switch you've got to flip up and then it twists. I'm really big fan of that quiver. And then the last thing that I have as far as Redline goes is I went with the Redline stabilizers as well. As I said, I like to shoot distance. So shooting that distance, if I'm hunting in a stand where I know I might have that 50 or 60 yard shot, I like to have a back brace. Started shooting with one about 4 or 5 years ago. It does add a little weight, but it most certainly sturdies me up. Not talking for everybody, talking for myself. And so the two that I went with is the RL1 10-inch on the front. I might actually end up changing that to an 8-inch, but as of right now, I'm gonna stick with this 10-inch. I've got the little RL back bar set up here, and then I am running an RL1 6-inch back brace, so or back bar, whatever. But anyways, I am a big fan of those as well. I know it's a stabilizer, it is what it is, but one cool thing about this one is, I don't know if you can see it there, but you don't see that on all of them. It's got crazy good adjustments on both sides of it, right? So you're down or you're out and in. And I like the fact that they actually took and put some numbers on there. The reason for that is, you know, if I end up having to fold one of them down to get it inside my bow case or whatever, I can just write on my bar, you know, put it at 6. And I know whenever I get back out and I get everything out of my case, I can just slide this guy right back over to 6 and we're good to go. So the last thing we're going to talk about is my drop away. So I am shooting the AAE Prophecy. So this is the one thing on this bow that I actually did not get to test before I bought it, and I took a man at his word. So again, while I was at the ATA, I met a guy that shoots competitions all the time, right? And I won't name the drop away that I have used in the past. However, they've been great for years. And then this year I had issues with 2 of them. 2 of them failed me. It could have been my fault. I'm pretty hard on bows, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, as far as weather and stuff like that goes, like if it's a hurricane, if you watch my Florida hunt, I will sit through that hurricane if I think the deer are gonna move after the hurricane. So that's just part of it. But one cool thing about this Prophecy that these guys said, and I am most certainly a believer now. Number one, it was super easy to set up. Wasn't hard. But one thing great about this one is that they drop in the exact same spot every time. You can slow your camera down to as low as it can go, and these things react and drop in the same spot every time. And that's obviously a big deal, right? So if that deer's 20 yards, no, it might not be as big of a deal, but you put him out there at 60, that can turn into a pretty big deal. The only negatives that I'll say that people say about them is that you have to manually cock it. That's not a big deal with me, because even on my last one, it would cock itself when you pull back, or you could manually cock it. I always manually cocked it anyways, just because when I'm walking in and out of the woods, I want my arrow in here being secure instead of just loosey-goosey, right? So it's what it is. The other thing I changed is I went from the Gold Tip XT Hunters, the Easton Gold Tip XT Hunters, to the Easton 6.5. And to be honest with you guys, this is a crazy reason to change. It's a big deal. I just changed them because they're all white. I think it's super cool. No reason other than that. They're basically the same weight. I actually ended up dropping about 40 grains on my setup. I guess it was 35 grains on my setup this year. And it had nothing to do with the arrows. I just went to them because they were white, and I thought they looked cool. I've never shot a white arrow. And being the full white, I think it'll help me, you know, when you get up to it and you're having to go like this and look at the blood color, should be able to just look dead at it and be good to go. So that is my 2022 setup. I'm telling you right now, if you have not checked out those Redline products, or you have not checked out B3, you are not doing yourself any favors. Go check them out. And unless you want to spend a bunch of money, don't go shoot that PSE, because I don't care what bow you're shooting, you're going to end up with one of them in your hands, just like I did. I was a Matthews guy, now I'm a PSE guy. So it is what it is, guys. That's all I got for y'all this week. I hope that helps some of y'all whenever you're thinking about going out and upgrading some of your gear. And again, guys, if you're looking for that lightweight, check out Redline. They have a whole variety of nothing but carbon setups that's really going to help you cut down that weight for chasing those deer way back there in the woods. So until next time, guys, that's all I got for you this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that share button, share it with a buddy. Hit that little bell up top because you never know we're going to drop a piece of gear you just might need. Good hunting, guys.